Okay, so I am online with Laura Arlott, who works for the Wiltshire Growth Hub. And from my point of view, for the people that are looking at young people in print, Growth Hub is somewhere I found. And I thought, well, you probably need to know about the organisation anyway. So, Laura, tell us a little bit about yourself and who and what is the Growth Hub, please.
Okay, thanks for so I'm Laura. I am a business navigator and also skills lead at the Swindon and Wiltshire Growth Hub, the Swindon and Wiltshire Business and Growth Unit, as we're otherwise known. So we used to exist under an organisation called the LEP. And some people are familiar with LEP, some people less so. So LEP stands for Local Enterprise Partnership. Again, this is about sort of economic growth, regeneration for an area. And then the Growth Hub existed as a part of that organization that was delivering business support. So LEPs, sort of ceased to exist about a year ago. Our local authorities recognised the importance of the work that we were doing, so they kind of absolved us. So we continue to deliver the work that we do now under Wiltshire Council and working across Swindon Borough Council as well. So that's the setup. That's how it exists. And then in terms of the work we do, we support businesses. So we give business support, one-to-one business support that can be an existing business, startups. We talk to a lot of startups in the area. We have a lot of SMEs across Swindon and Wiltshire, and we know that they are so important to they basically are our economy, and we need to support them properly. So they can come to us for information, advice and guidance. We'll also be that kind of central point of all knowledge, all things business support, what exists out there as well. Sometimes there might be pots of funding we can look into for them. There might be training, all sorts of different things. We also do a lot on events, networking. We've always got events going on, networking. We do a lot of expert speakers, webinars. We try to listen to our business community and then input things as and when that happens as to what would serve them, basically. So does that sum it up in a nutshell? It's a
That
lot.
that sums it up far too easily. What kind of support do you give to businesses? So you say startups and SMEs. What support do you provide them?
Yeah, so we can look into funding, as I mentioned. We can look into existing training for them, business plans, ways to grow, and we can signpost refer to existing provision that is in Swindon and Wiltshire already, or it may be some things that we're doing in-house, depending on the time and what we're doing at the time.
And what kind of companies do you work with? Are there any particular types?
So yeah,
Everybody.
mainly SMEs. We work with bigger organizations as well, because it's important for us to have that relationship with them, as well as sort of our training providers. And it's really what is of regional significance in the area. So it's important that we are in this climate, in this community, and that we're known as being an organization that's there to assist and help. And by doing that, we need to have a good relationship across regional partners. But so we will work as well with bigger businesses. We might go to them with certain projects that we have in mind, as we'll get onto one later. That's a good example of something that we'll go to one of those businesses for. Another example of a project at the moment is that we were actually at the forefront of bringing skills boot camps to the area. This is the first time for Swindon and Wiltshire. This is again recognizing a demand, a gap in provision that we've got. Skills boot camps are a really good example of this. Then we can go to our businesses and say, this is something that we're offering. So yeah, there's no hard sell. We're out here trying to do things that serve the business community, and we just say, this is what do you need. We've got that on the ground knowledge because we're talking to businesses every day. So bigger businesses for skills boot camps, for example, bigger businesses can use something like that, a new type of provision to upskill their existing staff or to recruit as well, because that's putting people through a short training period to come up with real vocational practical skills. And for some of those people, they're needing job interviews at the end of it. So we might ask our bigger businesses to help us with something like that. But on a day-to-day, probably the businesses that I'm actually talking to a one-to-one tend to be smaller businesses, maybe brand new startups, maybe even a mum who's been out of the workforce for a while and is looking at how, at starting her own business because she's got some kind of skill, some kind of passion, but doesn't have that business knowledge to back it up. So we can start from the start and say, we can do a business plan, we can do a SWOT analysis, we can do all of these things to make you feel more confident in turning your passion into something that hopefully might earn you a lot of money and also make you a great big awesome business that's trading and being a part of our economy in Swindon and Wiltshire.
I think the focus on mums who have been out of work and are coming back to work is a really incredibly good one. There's a lot out there, and there are a lot of industries that'll advertise part-time jobs, and they can't find these mums, and these mums would be ideal for it. Now, it kind of goes against what I'm trying to do in terms of encouraging young people off the sofa and out to jobs, but the reality is everybody needs a lift.
Absolutely. There's different communities, isn't there, that we're looking at and how to support them. It's just recognizing the fact that we need to target them differently and have an offer that will suit them. So like for a mum coming back to work, it might be that advice about starting your own business and is that right for you and how does that work? And for someone else, it might be showing them what great employers we have in Swindon and Wiltshire. It's a different target, different offer, I guess.
So you're Swindon and Wiltshire. Are there growth hubs nationally? They're everywhere, are they?
Yeah, growth hubs. Yeah, they exist. They exist nationwide, and they'll serve each region.
And
but
what are you
we can work together.
And what are you trying to achieve? What are you hoping to achieve?
We want to achieve economic greatness for our area. We
Nothing wrong with that. Swindon and Wiltshire is
want
the best in the country. There's nothing wrong with that. You can shout about that. That's fine.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's well performing. It's up there. I think is something like Swindon is something like the 12th in the country of being the most productive.
Really?
Yeah, there's some really amazing stats about our area. Yeah, and it's recognizing the type of support that we can put in to make it a really amazing place for people to live, work, and train in, I guess. But for us, yeah, it's definitely about serving our business community and making sure that businesses can thrive and grow here, but also recognizing the fact that that will go hand in hand with everything that's happening in the area. Like I say, with training providers, with schools, all of this has a place to serve to mean that we have a thriving and productive economy.
So the schools and things like that, are they leading into insight days and things like that? Are those things we've talked about in the past?
We have, Paul, yes.
So tell everybody that's watching, because they don't want to listen to me.
Okay, so Insight Days, this has been a part, like I said, we do a lot of partnership work, and as much as we can recognize the fact that if we work together for the same cause of supporting the area, then we can do really great things together. We're always open for partnership working. Like, for example, with skills boot camps, we've got our training providers, and across skills boot camps, there's so many different skills that we're offering. One of our providers is doing sort of AI, so then we can also offer that to our businesses. But yes, when it comes to Insight Day, so this we also partner with and work with our Careers Hub. So Careers Hub, again, like growth hubs, they are nationwide, and you'll have a different Careers Hub in different regions. Ours at last check was something like 5th best performing in the country. So we're really proud of our Careers Hub. We work really, really I mean, it's pretty good. There's quite a lot of them.
There are a lot of
And
them, yes.
they're all doing brilliant work, let me say. But yeah, we ours and Together in this partnership work have been trying to be really creative and proactive in recognizing a need for both of these communities, for schools, educational institutes and businesses, and how they react together, how they support each other. So the Careers Hub, they work with schools and colleges, and what they're doing is to effectively input careers education into schools and colleges. Let these young people know what an idea of what their next steps could be, what jobs exist out there, and especially in the area as well. What employers do we have here? What are great industries to go into, etc. And to do that, they need to see it, they need to know it, they need to recognize it. A lot of young people maybe not be able to name, a lot of young people might be able to name firefighter, doctor, vet, but do you think they'll know what you're talking about when you say procurement or so, and these are brilliant jobs, but do they know about it? I mean, yeah, even lots of adults don't know all the different types of jobs there are that exist. So let's give them a hand with it at least. So, and plus we also realize that our businesses have a need to be thinking about what is the next generation and where is the legacy of their business, what happens next with it, where is the growth with it, and to do that they need to be connecting at this stage. So Careers Hub came to us and they said that work experience is becoming more and more difficult. It's not really suiting schools, and is it really suiting businesses? More and more we're asking businesses for a lot of placements now. You've got work experience, apprenticeships, which are brilliant. If anyone wants to talk to me about apprenticeships, I will. T levels, again, same. All of these require placements, and this is an ask of the employer. As much as I'll say that it's definitely mutually beneficial to get involved, we know that it's an ask of the employer. You've still got the day job to do, but it is very important, not just in terms of giving back, but for what it's going to do for your industry sector business. So Careers Hub came to us and they said that they want to change the face of work experience, they want to do things differently. If what they were hearing that it's kind of too intense, it's too long, can businesses really give up this many resources? Also, how big is the reach when you've got one young person going into somewhere for 2 weeks? How much of a value is that, especially if on day 2 they decide that isn't the career for them? How much have they really learned, and how much is it putting on the employer to then keep them busy for 2 weeks, basically? So we said, first of all, before we get involved in anything, we'll always ask our business community first. We need to make sure that this is what they want. So we surveyed them, and we got a really good feedback, actually, which straight away indicates the fact that this is something that they're thinking about. And the feedback basically said, I mean, I've got graphs and all sorts of it. I've got a big, lovely report if anyone wants to get really into it. But our businesses basically said, really interested, recognize the importance, don't really know how to get involved, and have got this misconception that it's going to be very difficult, haven't got the time to do a lot in terms of work experience. So that was when looking with Careers Hub, and they designed these days called Insight Days, and it can be 1 day or half a day, and that's really depending on the employer. It can be, I've had one employer do 6 young people. We did an Insight Day. We actually took about 40 something, I think. At the start, it was going to be 30, and then it was 40. And I said, just bring them all. Come on, just bring them all in. We'll talk to them.
Bring a busload. Yeah.
Then it was 60. Yeah, fine. All right. But, if the employer says, we've got space for 6, that's what we can accommodate. If they say we're really looking at older groups, or we're not bothered, younger, it's all up to what is going to be really beneficial for everyone involved to make sure this is really, really good. But the Insight Days, they consist of, so the school will go into the business, into some premises that they have. There are 3 key things.
When you say school, you mean the pupils?
The pupils, sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
not the whole
yeah.
school,
Not
not
not the teachers. It's a pupil thing. Yeah.
the pupils, the school, the pupils of that school or college, and depending on the business, however many they've said that they can accommodate, they'll obviously be supported by teaching staff as well. They'll also, the school will sort everything from lunches to mini buses and everything like that. That's not something for the employer to worry about. Plus, it's been the communications are between me for the employer and careers hub for the school. So you also don't have all these, millions of emails going back and forth. We're going to help to organize everything, make sure it goes nice, goes well. So the three things that have to happen on an insight day is that, and these are to hit those Gatsby benchmarks to make sure that this is a actual work experience or experience of the workplace, which we like to call it. So three things that need to happen. Firstly, they need to have an understanding of the organization, and that can be a tour of the premises, a presentation. These things are fairly simple to do when you know your organization well. The next thing is they have to understand at least a couple of job roles. I would say 3 on the safe side. That can, and that's really, you can see why, right? To understand that there are different job roles that exist, and that different job roles make an organization. You don't just have one person doing everything. You might, even if they might feel like that. So you might have someone who does the marketing. You might have the receptionist, the cleaner, the CEO, whoever it is. It depends on the type of organization, but there's going to be so many different job roles in that, and it's just that these young people get an understanding of the fact that that is how things work, but also what are these different job roles, what do these different people do here. It might inspire something in them. I could be interested in that. So that's something else that needs to happen. And then the most fun bit is a task. So you need to do a task with the young people, something that is relevant to the organization, to the business. So I actually thought that would be one of the sticking points for the businesses, for the employers. I thought I'll come in and be really creative and really supportive and say, I'll help you design it. Every time no thank you, they've gone away with their teams and had an absolute blast designing what this task is going to look like, and they know their business inside out, so they've really enjoyed that part, which has been brilliant. And I've seen it in practice, because I've gone along to all these days. I've seen it in practice how it really makes that learning stick, and you definitely put in a bit of fun around it at the same time as also recognizing that this is what this business does. So do you want a couple of examples, Paul? There's been some good ones.
Come on,
okay, so at the Growth Hub, obviously they've come in, we've given them examples of business calls that we've get, and we say, what would you do with this, what questions would you ask, etc. At Doubletree, the hotel, they did with them, they did a competition, split them into 2 groups, and then 2 at a time. How quickly can you change a bed? Because these rooms can be turned over in a snippet of a minute by a trained housekeeper. So how quickly can you change this bed? So you would think, when you've got these teenage boys coming in, they won't be changing beds. Turn it into a competition, loving it. And they could see, that's amazing. How could this whole room get turned around in that time? Then at the same place, we went at Doubletree, went down and made pizza with the chef. But they talked about, which was great, they got to eat the pizzas, but it was also so cool because they saw the behind the scenes. They saw there's different job roles. As they were making the food, the chef's talking about costings of food, how much this would cost for us as a business to serve. This is how much we charge for it. It's so you're adding that into it. So there's so many different examples. There's been really great skills and challenges that have been done with them. SWOT analysis, key performance training. They do warehousing and logistics, and they're based in Swindon. They've got them on the forklift doing some of that work, and little remote control forklifts and stuff like this. They had they have made up different size packets and done a picking and packing challenge. You've got to find this, it's on this shelf, this number. How do you find it? How quickly can you do it? So some relevant tasks that that are really putting in mind as well. And then they're talked to about how you can get into these type of jobs, the different pathways, and the fact that jobs don't just stop here. So say with the warehousing, they're saying, yeah, there's picking and packing, then you can go on to this, and this, and get really high up in your career. So yeah, it's really inspiring stuff. And the days have been really fun at the same time. So that's an insight day.
Yeah, it sounds like you're enjoying them yourselves. Yeah, there's that eating
I
pizza.
know.
So what can an employer gain from getting involved in these?
So the actual feedback I've had from employers as well. So we have some employers that will say, example, I had a meeting with the team that the housing team at Wiltshire Council. So they're just about to offer a day. They're going to do a challenge day. A challenge day is when you go into the school. So these are different. Insight day,
Sorry, I
the
missed that.
pupils.
Yeah, back to challenge
Okay,
days in a minute.
okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
let's
Yeah,
do
so we
challenge
also
days.
so we also have challenge days. So we started Insight Days. We did that as a pilot. We're really proud of it as well because the Careers Hub are actually, like I said, so they're regional, and then the sort of overarching organization is the Careers Enterprise Company, and that's the national. And then regionally, you've got the different Careers Hub that all feed into the Careers Enterprise Company. And then so what has happened is, because we did Insight Days, a brand new way of doing work experience in Swindon and Wiltshire, first time ever last year, with Swindon and Wiltshire employers and Swindon and Wiltshire schools, means that we are the standard nationally for how these are delivered and done. So we're so proud of that.
Oh my God.
What a thing to be proud of, right?
It's
So
all
on that
league tables with you, isn't it?
no, I'm proud. So yeah, so our case studies of these days that we've done to show how these days work really well. Hopefully they could be rolled out and this is done in the future. That would be amazing. Once
Have
the
you
benefit,
documented that? Have you
yeah,
created so somebody could apply and get a case to and read it and give themselves a bit more
yes.
understanding?
Absolutely. And we're not gatekeeping this. This is something that we genuinely feel is really great. We want other regions to duplicate this and do this and try this themselves. So absolutely, we'll offer any kind of support with that. We've got a report from the Insight Days that we've written up, including evaluations from, we evaluated all of the teaching staff that came along, the businesses that were involved, and every young person as well. And it's very positive. It's really, really positive. So that's great. And some of the quotes as well from the young people are really brilliant as well, because it just shows that what we set out to do, we really, yeah, succeeded in, because they just, some of the quotes of the fact that they now understand what those jobs are, or that they want to, and some of the businesses, some of them have said to those young people, one of them has started up a youth advisory board with those young people. One of them said, as soon as you turn 16, guys, get your CVs in, you know, we'll look at getting you jobs here. So it's really, it's not just a tick box exercise. They're real young people in the area, real businesses, and they're making real connections. So it's brilliant. But sorry, you're gonna have to tell me when to stop talking, I think. So Insight Days.
We have to start. You're on leave from tomorrow, so we got till 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Insight Days, Challenge Days, we know them. I asked you a question, what does the employer gain from it? It's the wrong question. Let me ask you a different question first. What do the young people get from it?
Okay, so yeah, so there's Insight Days, Challenge Days. So Challenge Days is when a employer or business go into the school, and then there are tons of other things that we can also look at, because what we recognize is that Insight Days, although brilliant, don't work for every business, and we want a given opportunity of each business to have a way of getting involved that would suit them. So Insight Days, Challenge Days, you've got virtual work experience, traditional work experience, supported internships, apprenticeships, T-levels, all of these things. And I've got a lovely little write-up that explains each of them in you know, not too confusing. Then if anyone would like to talk to me, then I'm so happy to talk about any of these things. But yes, so the business and the young people, what they get out of these. So for businesses, like I was saying, so I've been talking to the housing team, and an example, someone on that team said to me, it seems that myself and all my colleagues fell into this work. And he's like, we didn't set out to do this, but we love it. And we would like for, for our future colleagues and people working in this to have set out to want to do it, and that I've heard a fair bit, is that people have just found themselves in places and they want people to understand the great work that they're doing and that they're a really amazing, fulfilling job roles. But a lot of people just don't even know they exist. So a part of it is getting that bit of education out that these job roles exist, how important the work is that they're doing. Plus, say for the housing team, they also they're also working with vulnerable people that are at risk of homelessness or are homeless. So another part for them is also being able to spread that message to this age group are a part of people that are possibly vulnerable. Maybe their parents are close to homelessness or they are. So another part of that work for them is the fact that they're getting the message out about the support that they can offer as a service. Plus, they've also great job roles if that inspires some young people to want to do those. Other businesses, for some of them, it's the fact that for National Trust, they said for them, they were saying how they want to diversify, they want the opinions and input of young people. So that was a big one for them. For others is that they're actively recruiting and they want young people in the area to know that they exist. And the thing is, if those young people have had a really positive, great experience with them, it's also the name of that company or business is now in the back of their head. They know they exist and they're on their doorstep. It might be something that they're going to consider and they're going to tell their parents. And and then for others, they might have some kind of social responsibility, that some giving back to the community. That's always great and really important. It is a very sort of wholesome, lovely feeling. To tiring the days, they can be, it's a lot of effort, I know, but every single business that I've worked with so far has just been absolutely buzzing about it and has really enjoyed it. So yeah, there's also that. For the young people, I think it's just the understanding. Also, for some of them that I've seen, there was for some of them also, we are also supporting SEND schools if that's something that the business can manage and feels comfortable with. There is work beforehand to make sure that that everything that we're going to do on that day feels, the teachers know their students so well inside and out, so they can always advise on that. Also, for some of them, they might not be or have come from families where they have role models that work, so to see themselves that this is possible for them also sort of ignites something in them. But yeah, seeing that they could have, and we know that work has a really big impact on mental health, people's self-esteem, and I think for young people to see that they can have a future like this, I think is really important as well. So, and just for them to be able to consider different job roles, and yeah, I think there's so many benefits of it. Yeah, pipelines of talent, all sorts. Yeah, it's been
So
great.
you've that fantastic half hour, Philip. How do people get involved? How do businesses get involved? For Swindon and Wiltshire, they find you.
Yes.
How do businesses get involved and how do they approach growth hubs? Find their local ones? What's the story?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, for Swindon and Wiltshire, that's definitely get in touch with myself, get in touch with the Growth Hub and our Careers Hub, and you will find that we all work together in perfect harmony. So we will.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do. But yes, find your local growth hub, find your local careers hub, and see how you can get involved. It might be that I've had businesses before I was doing this project, and then that would say to me that they wanted to be involved. There are loads of other ways to be getting that message across. There's also careers fairs and school visits or school tours, something that might feel more manageable for you, and going directly to your local school and college. If that doesn't feel like something you can do or appropriate, then absolutely contact your careers hub. They've already got those contacts, they've already got those relationships with schools. So that would be my advice.
So very quick summary then. Growth
Go
Hub
on.
summary. Come on, do it. A quick summary.
A quick summary. So the Growth Hub is here, existing, passionate about supporting businesses, about provision, about supporting young people and anything we can get involved in. We are always so receptive to having a chat. So come in. There's usually so many ways that we can work together or help and advise. And if not, we'll still just have a lovely chat.
Laura, your enthusiasm and your passion, it's absolutely overwhelming. Thank you. Thank you very much for taking half an hour to talk to us. We'll get this up online, and you better look out. You're going to get in and never mind going out for a festival in Cornwall. You ain't got time, girl. You're going to be busy.
I'll need it. I'll come back and my inbox will be full.
Yeah.
So I'll make the most of the time off. And look out for our events, of course. We always have lots of events on where you can come and see us face to face as well.
Thank you.
You should come along as well, Paul.
No, I'm not coming down there. It's far too far west for me. All right. Nice talking to you. Take care.
Yeah, and you. Thanks so much.
Bye. Bye.